Welcome to Outtake. We are a show that likes to champion film and TV shows and really look into independent films that our audience might have otherwise missed. I'm Maz,
And I'm Junior.
and today I would like to say it's a pleasure to introduce the director and the DP for Neon Dreaming. Now, the director we have is Marie-Claire Marcotte. Please excuse the French pronunciation. I'm trying my
That
best.
was pretty good. That was good.
Marie is an award-winning Canadian director, screenwriter, actress, and producer whose works have a bilingual approach in her filmmaking process using the English and French language. Her work has also been applauded for an array of awards, including Best Director at Cine Paris Film Festival, Montreal's Independent Film Festival, Berlin's Women Film Festival, and also a bunch of others, including Best Comic Writing at the Los Angeles Film Festival Awards, amongst many others.
Hey.
So thank you both for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about Neon Dreaming, which is currently screening at Glasgow Film Festival. And it kind of follows the story of an 8-year-old Billie as she attempts to find her true identity from her absent mother. So in terms of writing it, we get a really beautiful story that is very playful about trying to have self-discovery. And I was just kind of wondering, when creating this atmosphere and set, as well as kind of having that cinematography to actually show, how was your process of doing that?
Playful is key. Playful is a key word for sure. Like with the kids, it was really important the whole way through. We had 25 days of shooting. The main actress, who's 8, was with us the entire time. So I felt very like I was equipped with games and was trying to make it fun for her and for her to know that she could, call for a break, even if it was not technically break time. And in the story itself, like the kids have this amazing capacity, just like in real life, to live something so deeply and then just to completely forget about it and play, and then remember they were sad, and then play again, and then remember that they have this important quest. So I was, yeah, trying to get that energy on set as well. And with the team, like Brennan and her team would set up, quietly around them while they were playing. And sometimes what they were doing was just so great, we'd just start shooting. And then I'd be like, okay, 3, 2, 1, let's just start the scene. And they're like, what? You were shooting? Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that while watching it, the chemistry between Billy and Cherry, their chemistry was really, it felt really genuine. It was really like gave me like flashbacks of when I was younger and I had like that best friend that you always hanged out with, that you got into trouble with, that you kind of like influenced to do stuff that maybe you shouldn't be doing. How was it like casting Billy? Because Billy was such a personality was quite strong throughout the whole film. So was there a particular casting process when it came across casting her?
Yeah, we took I don't know, a few months, I guess. Like it started really early, and I auditioned across Canada. So I saw about 100 actresses, and yeah, it was like on Zoom, which I didn't think would work with kids, but it actually does. And then the last round of auditions, we met in person, and it was almost a full day of just testing out different chemistries between the girls and playing games and trying to see who also had energy throughout the day, because maybe someone like is hot for 5 minutes and then doesn't want to do it anymore. So I had to investigate all of that in the auditions.
And I think that it kind of really showed how well you were at picking it, because the performances that we got from the girls were phenomenal. How were you able to just continually keep that energy up, because they're so young and the storyline has such a playful theme, but then it's very raw and real and goes through such a range of emotions. Yeah, I really had to bring out like the best performance out of them.
Yeah, I love kids. That helps. I have a lot of patience for them. I think they're actually fascinating little beings. So I have a lot of respect for them. I'm genuinely curious in what is happening in their world and their minds. So I think probably that helped me the most, just like chatting all the time, playing with them, just wanting to become their friend in a way and building that trust. So if I felt like, there was a dip in energy or something, this might have been your idea actually, putting on music.
Mm.
Yeah. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, I love having music on set between setups as long as it's not like messing up with the workflow of the day. And I have three very young nieces and nephews, and they all have a song that we call their big song, which is the song you put on that just is their song, where they just like to dance and get their energy out. So we kind of tried to figure out what Malia's like big song was and put that on to keep the energy up for her. I mean, something that was also kind of interesting as far as my relationship with the cast and Malia in particular is I do not speak French. So our communication was kind of inherently very limited, but kind of silly in its own way. I'm always there with the camera in her face, and in between breaks would maybe just make faces at one another or say je t'aime, which is basically the only thing I could say.
I love you.
So we kept it really light when we needed to, and brought it down for some of those more serious scenes, and just allowing as much room for Marie Claire and Malia to do their work. Yeah.
I think it was great what we got visually also from the film. I was just kind of curious, why did you decide to have the neon colors to be a part of the storytelling motif of kind of Billie finding herself?
Yeah, well, I wanted to get in her mind in some sort of way, like her imaginary space and what she was seeing as the best case scenario for herself in her future. And I feel like dreaming in neon colors is just like a notch up, like it's step up from, it's like at the very beginning of the film, it's in black and white. It mirrors the picture of her mom she's holding, who she thinks is her mom. And then we're in color, just regular color, and then we're in neon color, which is just like enhanced daydreaming for me. And then I'm doing a play on words with like when someone's dreaming in color, but dreaming in neon, which is like kidland, it's even more.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it was just so nice to see it in such a visual contrast as well. When you were filming it, were there any slight changes that you guys had versus what you'd have initially had when you envisioned it in storyboarding or in scripting?
It all just looked so much better through the lens on set, of course. Changes. I mean, there's always like, there are micro changes all the time throughout the day, but I don't think there was like a major hiccup. Um, if anything, the big surprises came in the editing room where it was like, oh yeah, let's rewrite some parts of the story through the editing. Yeah, some daydreaming sequences that weren't actually needed anymore when the film became a whole piece.
Mhm.
Can you think of something?
Um, Not really. I mean, the flickering went away, but
Oh yeah.
that's like kind of like talking about a thing that didn't happen. So
Yeah, I was
no,
pretty
yeah,
ruthless in the editing room.
it
Lots of cuts.
it felt like that is there's showing the world as it is from Billy's perspective, and then there's showing her internal world coming outward, and that's kind of when we enter into these neon moments, be it in the library or the dinner finally with her whole family. and that was kind of what we planned for. And you know,
Mhm.
once you set up all the lighting and get the actors there and lens it all up, it really just kind of really came to life and looked, I was quite happy with it.
Yeah.
And again, it was just like inherently so playful. You fill a room with a bunch of colorful lights and it makes kids light up.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Is there any like particular scene that out of now that you have hindsight that you really enjoyed doing while you were in the process of creating it?
Well, there's one scene where she's jumping on the bed and we have the neon lights and we're blasting the music, and it's like it's a tiny moment in the film, but everyone on set just started dancing and it felt like a big party celebration. And yeah, that was a beautiful moment just on set. And in the film it looks great.
Yeah, there were so many moments I think that Junior and I both really appreciated in the film, and I think that it was just so perfectly transitioning from English to French, and for audiences that aren't used to that, it was so smooth. How were you able to do that?
That, I mean, that's a direct reflection of what we live through in Canada as francophones. Mostly francophones living in different provinces outside of Quebec. It's just like this flip-flop, this seamless flip-flop between French and English. And sometimes, like a lot of days, I wish I could just speak Fringlish, this mix of French and English. And uh, yeah, with a few people, that's how I speak, because I'm always forgetting words in both languages. So I tried to put that as much as possible in the film. And then I mean, it's pretty universal. Like at home, people speak their language at home, familial language, and then outside, you switch to English usually. So people who have to do that tend to just have a very fast code of like, oh, I'm in the outer world, English brain now. Yeah.
How was it for you as a DP having to deal with that, not necessarily being as fluent in the language of French?
Not even as fluent, no French at all beyond like hello, I love you, and my friend. It was I think more concerned about it than MC was. Like I thought it was going to be a huge hindrance, and I think that you kind of saw it a little bit as an asset as far as being able to really focus on. I remember in my interview you said, I think it's interesting that you would focus on blocking and physicality in a way that you're not necessarily thinking about the lines. And yeah, and I think that that was really accurate and true. I mean, it's quite easy when basically all of the crew was bilingual, with the exception of a few people. I was really like one of two or three people who can't also speak French or at least understand it. So I had lots of folks around me helping with translation, and also just like through the context, a film set is universal in a lot of ways. And so, you know, you can kind of slowly put together what kind of conversations are happening through just context clues and keeping an ear open and trying to pick up little pieces here and there.
Do you feel that you'd be ready for another set, which would be half English, half French this time round?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I have my Duolingo, I have my Rosetta Stone, I'm working on it. I'd like to get a little further, mostly just in the context of wanting to kind of build more rapport with the cast. I mean, with our adult actors, all of them were also bilingual. We were a very French set, so everyone's kind of speaking to one another in French, but they can turn to me and make a joke in English, and we can have that rapport. It was just with our really young actors that just don't have a handle on English quite yet, or maybe never at all. But yeah, so it still worked out. It helped me get over any sort of concern about that.
And I think that it really goes to show because the emotions really spoke for each scene, And it's very cliche to say, but a picture speaks 1,000 words, and it really did show in this film. And I think we really loved it for what we were able to see, and expect our audience to appreciate it for what it was. Really excited that it's been chosen for the Audience Award at Glasgow Film Festival. How does that feel for you guys?
It's amazing. I love this festival so much. I've been eyeing it from afar for a while, so it's yeah,
Super exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited because like we're a big movie fan. Absolutely love the movie. So the fact that we're getting this conversation with you is really huge with us, and we really appreciate you being able to go and have this conversation and talk about this amazing piece of work that you've been working on, and given the short period that you actually shot it in as well.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah,
Really.
Thank you guys. Well, you have a lovely time in Scotland.
We will. Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.